From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China, where I hope nobody is jumping, and back to the streets of Singapore where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is This Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about but may be afraid to voice. Do not worry. We will voice it for you. We talk about everything on its time. It's No Holds Barred Radio, folks. We have an hour coming up here, less, more, whatever the case might be. And it's all about No Holds Barred Radio, sex, drugs, rock and roll, UFC, movies, TV, politics, crime, whatever's happening in the world, climate, hurricanes, tornadoes. We got it. And to talk about all this exciting stuff, none other than my partner and producer, TJ De Santis, and the legendary trainer and coach to the fighting stars of the UFC and elsewhere, Ray Longo. Ray, we never know what's going to come out of your mouth, but it's going to be fun. So let's get this thing going.
I'm a little subdued today, Bruce.
Are you? Why?
I don't know. It's just, I didn't have the best weekend, I guess.
Yeah, I should have been able to answer that question before you did, but I can understand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for those that are not quite aware of it, let's just kind of like line that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Big fight, UFC 292 this weekend, big main event, Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling, where many of us, including myself, consider him to be one of the GOATs of the bantamweight division, if not one of the greatest UFC bantamweight fighters ever, when you look at his record and all. Had a battle, and he lost. He got clipped.
Got clipped. That's it.
Got clipped. And so let's just let you go with it, Ray. I mean, let me preface this by saying, being in Boston, and I was doing appearances for Puncher's Chance on Friday. A lot of people showing up. We're at the TD Garden where I was doing the appearance, and the weigh-ins were there. I got to tell you, there's a ton of Aljamain Sterling fans, but the amount of wigs and T-shirts and support to Sean O'Malley. I mean, this young boy, along with young man, is a huge rising star in the UFC. And with what happened tragically on your end Saturday night, has now become even a bigger star.
Yeah.
So lay it out. Obviously, if Aljo got Sean to the ground, it would have been a totally different situation. His counterpunch was precision. It was perfect.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, can't take anything away from that. I think, what happened, I think Aljo, the first round, all three judges gave to Aljo. It wasn't the most action-packed, but I think Sean thought in the first round he was going to do what he did in the second round, try to lunge in and get him, and I think that's what he was waiting for, and he didn't get it, so he wasn't committing either. And then in the second round, when he kind of slipped, I think Aljo got a hold of him, felt him, and then Sean got away, and I think he got overexcited to grab him again. He lunged in, and O'Malley hit him with a beautiful counter right hand. Nothing you could say about that, So, it's all good, but crazy crowd stuff, though, man. Because the hatred Aljo got, I'll never understand. And it's weird. The other guy on our team, Chris Weidman, the whole place was cheering for him. So I don't
get it either.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? But I mean, as far as O'Malley, I mean, I think Aljo has it right with his fan base is, it's that new TikTok generation type of thing. I mean, you can't be 27 years old and be wearing one of those fucking wigs, can you? I mean, that's got to be a young thing, Bruce.
And it's got to be a young thing, but I saw 25, 27-year-olds, maybe not 30-somethings, but
because I was going to say, if you're 30 years old and you got that fucking wig on at a fight, you got to get a fucking life. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, like, again, I wasn't looking around that much, but I did see a lot of wigs, and I felt the hatred for Aljo. 100% felt the hatred, kind of like I never felt before. Like, somebody messaged me and said, what was the worst crowd you were ever in? I said, by far, hands down, 100%, GSP versus Serra in Montreal on the second fight. There's nothing that could compare to that.
Right.
But that wasn't even what I felt. That was just, couldn't hear in between rounds. Couldn't hear during the fight. The place was insane. This was just like hatred, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think Montreal was just normal, crazy fans. This looked like it was like personal, man. That's the way I felt anyway. But I feel, yeah.
Couple questions for both of you. I saw the wigs. I also saw the big Aljo chains that had like a UFC logo on it.
Yeah.
Was the UFC selling those? Was that a UFC decision to get? Because I don't know where everyone got the same green and pink wigs and these big ass chains.
I wasn't up in the arena. I didn't see the store, so I don't know. I mean, I saw these wigs before the fight night even happened.
Yeah,
they were walking around the hotel. They were walking
around. That's a good question, TJ.
Yeah, very good the question. Same wigs. You know what I mean? It's just like, how do you find the same exact wig for 5,000-10,000 people? But the other thing too, and you talk about the sort of vitriol for Aljamain Sterling. I don't know where it comes from. I think that we have chronicled his path to a UFC title, his defense, and the only things that I can see that people would really dislike about Aljo really have nothing to do with him. It's the fact that he won a title by an illegal knee. Yeah. TJ Dillashaw showed up and his shoulder popped out. Those things don't have anything to do with Aljamain Sterling. And it's not like he went out there and conducted himself saying, I beat the best prime in shape TJ Dillashaw. That's why I'm the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah, but the other thing I want to clarify real quick is I don't think it was racial. So
yeah.
Do you think that?
No, I listen. I'm a guy that doesn't think anything's racial at this point.
No, I'm the same way. I don't.
I don't. You know what it is when Bruce? I think you're more like me. Like when you don't see race, like you don't even understand when people are talking to you like that. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. That. You know what I'm saying? Like it. I know it's out there. I'm not saying it's not out there, but
I don't see it displayed at the fight, so that's the point I'm trying to make. Is I don't really think it's an issue at fights.
I didn't hear any, racial types of things coming out. But, one thing I was going to say was maybe it was the fact that, Aljo's a New York guy and you're in Boston. But you already said, Ray, that they love Weidman. So, like,
Weidman, the crowd was crazy. I don't know if you heard it.
I did. So,
I think
it would have been a New York versus Boston type of thing.
Exactly. But I think, also, too, let's get down to the fact it's Boston. It's Irish territory. The man's name is Sean O'Malley.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're missing one salient point here.
Right.
This is a very Irish proud crowd. And O'Malley is going to come across that way to the fans. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right on that, but it is still, they still have the North End too, which is heavy Italian. That way, hopefully we'll balance something off. But,
well, that's where is Chris Italian?
No, he's not. I was hoping me, Sarah, and Iaquinta could carry that flag a little bit and take away some of the hatred.
Hey. Well, I'd help you with that flag too.
Yeah.
You're Italian by association with that crew.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm trying to get at. But I told that to Aljo once. I go, dude, I just wanted to go out there with you because I figured, lately I've been getting a lot of love. I go, I'll try to take it away from you. I walk, fuck you. I mean, I go, nothing. I got dumped on my head. I would go, holy shit, these guys are brutal.
Hey, but that's kind of good for business, though, too, at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, another question, too, is how's Aljo handling the loss?
So far, I think like the champ he is. We all went out to dinner last night. We had a great time. And that's it. I think Aljo, at the end of the day, he got paid very well for a kid that came from absolutely nothing. That's going to make the ego feel a little better. And he's got his priorities straight. He's got a great fiance. He's got great people around him, and that's it, man. When you put it in perspective, I think it makes it a lot easier. And I on all these situations, we should just really try to focus on what you're grateful for and all the good things you have in your life. And I think it just helps out a lot.
I agree. Segue for a second. That alarm that just went off is I'm tested negative.
Oh, good job, Buff.
It's coming back. We're going to talk about it on the show.
Just real quick on the Aljo front. I saw his Instagram post. He seemed to be in good spirits. He had a nice run. In first run here at bantamweight, where people are talking about him potentially being the greatest of all time to ever do it at 150 pounds. You can't be upset about that.
Why would you be? And right. Plus the rematch will be another killer. You know what I mean? And
that's what I wanted to ask.
Well, here, let's talk about that for a second.
Like a lot
first
of people are suggesting that he moves up to 45 with this loss. Does that change?
I believe that changes, but not really changes a lot. But well, here's what I'm basing on. In the back, Sean Shelby came in and said, "Do you want a rematch?" Aljo said, "100%, absolutely." And so, do they hold to that? Why would he say that? I don't know, but you got the other guy calling out Cheeto, who Cheeto's awesome, but he did just lose to Sand. He's not mentioning Sandhagen. He's not mentioning Marab. I think that was a little bogus too. And he's not mentioning Aljo for a rematch. So I got to tell you, man, I think the UFC is going to have a harder time with this guy. This guy's definitely his own guy, and he's a free thinker, and I think they're not going to be able to control him the way they think they're going to control him. He definitely made him a lot of money, and that's what they're going to try to do. I guess they'll follow the money for the rematch, but you can't tell me a rematch with Aljo will make less money than a fight with Cheeto Vera.
Well, I'm sorry, Ray, but one thing is really guaranteed here. Aljo, the great champion that he will be again, brought a lot to the brand. And, when you think about marketing and everything else with fighters, obviously everybody wants to think who's the next Conor McGregor. They look at Paddy Pimblett, they look at O'Malley. Right. O'Malley's got tremendous brand potential.
Yes.
And, the thing is that it is not taking away from Aljo that he's the champion now, marketing the UFC, putting UFC marketing behind him and everything else. But Aljo was great for that. But, I'm sure that the people at UFC now, they're licking their lips on the fact now that O'Malley's the champion and they can agree on this.
100%. 100%. Bruce, they put the fight up on YouTube right after the fight. So people that paid $80 for that fight, could have just waited a half hour and got it for free.
And let me tell you another thing I noticed too.
Like all that stuff could happen. You never know.
I'm just saying, think about that. Never been done before. They just want to get everybody. They're trying to start that machine up as quick as possible.
And it's working. And I'll tell you why I notice it's working. I can tell with my social media, like how many new Twitter followers I get, how many new Instagram followers I get at the end of a show night. And that tells me how popular the show was. Okay. And I got like maybe 500 new Twitter followers and God knows how many Instagram followers, which told me that the show easily did 500,000 to 1 million buys. In my guesstimation, we'll find out when that happens. Yeah. But I put up a post because I happen to take video. I take videos on the sidelines of the main event, at the big pay-per-views. And I turned on the video just 5 seconds right before O'Malley clipped Aljo, right? And caught the whole end of the fight. I put that up on my Facebook. I have never had like about 2,000 comments.
Yeah.
On a post, I had like almost 2,000 comments.
That's a lot, yeah.
On the one post, this young man, along with Aljo, but let's just talk about O'Malley for a second. Give him credit where credit's due. His brand is strong. And then on TikTok, did you see the video he made where he's smoking the joint and looking in the mirror and I want to be famous, I want to be this, and I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I mean, the guy's got no filter. He knows how to work it, and he's working it. More power to him. Let him make that money.
He's doing a Jake Paul, Logan Paul type of thing. Look, Bruce, I'm so far past that. I didn't see the TikTok thing, and I never will, to be honest with you. But I think I'm never going to get it. That ship sailed for me. You know what I mean? So,
but it's a different generation, not just of people, but fight fans as a whole. Like the way O'Malley captures certain people coming up through the Contender Series, and we remember the Snoop Dogg thing, and it's interesting how people have gravitated towards him. Bruce, you talk about this all the time. The fan favorite in fights far more often than not, it feels like as of late, tend to be the athlete that isn't necessarily the traditional role model.
Right.
I think about John Jones and Daniel Cormier. Like everyone's cheering for John Jones, hating on Daniel Cormier. Let me ask you, who would you rather have watch your kid for a half an hour? And back in the day, I would say
interesting comment.
But back in the day, Buff, I would say that the person that you thought was a good role model would be more of the fan favorite, and that is just not the case. We live in a world now where anti-heroes and sort of not villains, because I don't think that Sean O'Malley's a villain, but guys that are cut from an untraditional cloth tend to be the more well-received fight draw for fans.
Yeah. Can't
I
argue.
agree.
Can't argue the point.
Nope.
Well, another question for you, Ray. Do you think it was an early stoppage?
The way I'm going to answer is like I don't think it was. I think it was a fair stoppage. If I'm the referee, I'm not stopping the fight though. I don't know if I just tiptoed around that, but if I'm the ref, I'm not stopping that. I think the guy's the champ. You got to let him. He was definitely he was fine right after. Definitely not concussed at all. There's no whatever. Now, do you want to get it to that point? That's the thing. So I'm going to say fair stoppage. Sean did a great job visually of just, raining down some punches. But I think I would have let that go a little longer. If I'm the ref, I'm not stopping it because it's a title fight.
What is interesting to me in that stoppage sequence, and maybe you can speak to this, Ray, is I didn't think Aljo was too hurt initially because he's trying to go for up kicks and stuff. Do you know what I mean? He was trying to kick at O'Malley, and I think maybe defensively it wasn't the best idea. Maybe that gave the ref a look of like he's not, there. But you are right. He was quick to his feet. I didn't have a problem with the stoppage necessarily, but I am with you in the idea that I think you got to let him go a little bit longer.
You got to let, TJ
championship fights,
Yeah, TJ, you got to let it go. Plus, look how beautifully he spoke on the mic.
Yeah,
they always say don't interview a guy if after he's been knocked out or concussed or what. That guy spoke beautiful.
Yep.
About how can I handle Volkanovski if I can't handle that? That's not a guy thinking about what just happened.
Right.
So based on everything, the fight. I don't even want to get into it. But if I'm the ref, I'm not stopping the fight.
Well, all I want to comment on is that the refs are so good at safety. Mark Goddard is just a tremendous referee. I'm huge respect for him. It's just one of those ones that could be questioned, but I'm not going to say it was or it wasn't. It just could be.
It's on the fence.
It's on the fence.
Yeah, I think it's on the fence. I mean, I think that's the fairest thing you could say.
Yeah, and safety first. Another big question for you, Ray. Dana White made the comment that Chris should retire.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I
know how you are with your fighters, and
I know. Look, I'm just going to tell you, my relationship with my fighters is God. Let me try to sum it up. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll support you 100%. That's kind of my mantra to my fighters. I could tell you, I was with my wife at the fight. And her feeling was, hey, if the guy's making money and he could provide for his family, why would you take that away from him?
Right.
And he is making good money. And if that's what he wants to do and he knows the risks involved, then it's, if the UFC doesn't want to see him fight, then just don't let him fight. But as far as to force a guy to retire, not the end of the world. I think those government jobs, those FBI guys got to get out by 65 or whatever. They're not letting them stick around long. But that was my wife's take, which I thought was very interesting. She's like, well, why would you take away the guy's right to make money if that's what he wants to do? But again, that's going to be Chris's decision. And look, that fight, even though, obviously the decision was correct, there wasn't a blowout except for the optics of the leg kicks were brutal.
Yeah.
But he did fight through it. You know what I mean? But
that's another question I have, Ray. Did he tear his knee?
According to Chris, definitely not. But he had the MRI the other day. But he said nobody even examined his knee. He was surprised when Dana said that he tore his ACL or his MCL. I mean, he was icing. He didn't get the results back. So I'll let you know.
We can't say until the MRI comes in.
Yeah, we can't get to the MRI, but
But you hit
that will be a tell-all for him, Ray. That will be the tell-all right there.
Sure, but
if he's got to go for ACL surgery, he's done. I think he'd be out too long, and it's just too long in between in between fights. As it is, to me, I'm taking a different approach. I'm happy for Weidman. The guy had a brutal break, worse than Anderson Silva's, because his bone came through the skin. He got 2.5 years older. He came back from the surgery, was waving the guy on. His documentary is going to look, beautiful when ESPN gets done filming that. The guy's got heart. He went over that crowd just with his fucking balls and tenacity and his stubbornness of going forward. And everybody knows what it's like to deal with that pain. And a lot of guys just quit, and he didn't do it. So to me, Weidman's a hero to me. I don't really give a shit. Like, whether he retires, he doesn't retire. Is he the same Weidman I know? Absolutely not. He's just not that guy. Mentally he is, but physically, I think, you saw he's still trying to go forward. He couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
If he had his legs playing, and I still think he hurt him. And, that kick to the belly looked like it really wasn't a bull shot to me.
And also too, Weidman, while he's not,
I agree with that, by the way. It wasn't a ball shot, it was above the ball.
No, you know what I mean? Yeah. Bruce, we're in a thing now where even if your cup gets grazed, that's why you got a fucking cup on. Yeah. If anything gets grazed and hits the cup, I'm taking no. That's like when you get soccer kicked, or punted underneath. That's a fucking where the crowd's going, Yeah. That was I seen Weidman drop 10 people with that toe kick to the belly. 10. It's not, those toes hit first by far, not in the balls. You know what I mean? And what it is. Did any part of his foot touch his cup? Most likely, but when I saw it on the thing, I thought they were going to put him down in that position again when they were reviewing. I thought they were going to say it's not a bull shot. They start the fight immediately. So I don't know. But look, I'm not taking away. Tavares did a great job. Brutal leg kicks, attacked the leg. Great guy, sportsman-like. I don't want to even go that, but I'm just expressing what my opinions are.
No, that's the name of the game, and it was an excellent game plan on Tavares' end.
Yeah.
A couple other things on UFC 292, and then I want to get to some news stories with you, Ray, before we go, because there's some very interesting stuff in the news here. I said it to Dana White when I walked in after the co-main event. It's really very simple. The only comment I can make about the strawweight title bout is that Weili Zhang she's just a beast. She's just an absolute beast. That's really all I can say. Lemos, amazing that she lasted 5 rounds. Amazing.
Okay. Finished in the second round the way that the fight was unfolding towards the end of the first.
And listen, that's the other point. Look at that fight and look at Aljo's fight. You don't think there were times in that fight should have been stopped?
I put another video up that I caught with her just laying down about 20 elbow shots.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like
without a doubt, it's like.
See, again, it's consistency, Bruce. That fight should have been stopped. If Aljo's fight was stopped and it was fair, then that fight should have been stopped at that point.
You know why I think the referee stepped in quicker was because Aljo face planted. And when you have guys that go face first, I think that the optics of that tend to make referees get a little bit more jumpy. But, as we said, Aljo was quick to get to his back and then start throwing up kicks. And I don't know if that was an effort to try to induce a scramble and get back up. But, it's not like he was knocked flat and out by any means when he.
No, definitely not. And TJ, he was lunging forward. So that's why he went forward. Like, again, if he would have missed, he might have fell on his face, he was going in that direction. That's
I agree.
I'm with you. And real quick, another comment I want to make, and a fighter that I would think is a coach that you'd love to have on your team for many reasons. This Ian Gary is an up-and-coming star. There's no question.
I like Ian Gary. I have great interactions with him. I can't get behind him at the press conference. I can't. As a parent,
I didn't see the presser, so I don't know.
No, it was crazy. But he's a really nice kid.
Yes,
he's a good kid and super talented. And I agree with you. But
he handles himself.
Me and him would be having fun in the gym, yelling at each other. I think what I mean.
Without question. I saw him after the fight. He was dressed in a suit, dressed in the nines.
He's awesome, man. He's telling me where was I on vacation? You look great. You got the He's booking that kid. He's got energy for days. That guy. Holy crap, was he on fire?
Yeah, and he's definitely rising. He's a star, and he's a rising star. He's with his lovely wife, his new child. I just like everything about Ian Gary. He's a full round fighter in my opinion. So
no. Power to him. Great fight for him.
And much respect to Neil Magny. Just always one of my faves too. But life is life. I can't win every single time. Okay, now this Saturday is the fight in Singapore. I will not be there. I'm going to Paris next week and then to Sydney. They wanted me to go to Singapore. To be honest with you, it's just too much to go to Singapore, Paris, Sydney.
Holy crap, man.
Way too much. So I will not be in Singapore. Holloway, Korean Zombie, that's going to be a hell of a fight. Anthony Smith, Ryan Spann, Alex Caceres fighting for the 49th time this year.
It's crazy to me that the Zombie hasn't fought Holloway already. I was looking through his
no, I thought he did too, but he didn't.
Yeah, I was looking through his Tapology, record, and this fight has never actually even been booked before. So two staples of this featherweight division thrown down in the octagon. I'm excited to see it. It's early on Saturday as well.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very, very cool. Okay, yesterday was the Logan Paul Dylan Dennis presser, right?
Oh shit, I didn't even see
Logan
that.
or Jake?
Oh my God, did you see it?
Is it Logan?
I will watch that though. They're funny.
Well, you better watch it because like Logan Fury, is that his name? Logan Fury, the boxer? Thomas Fury?
Or
Tom
Tyson
Fury,
Fury?
yeah.
There's a bunch of Furies.
Yeah,
No,
it's
not
his
Tyson
brother.
Fury, not Tyson Fury. His little
no,
brother.
you're right. I think it's Thomas
Tommy.
Fury.
Yeah, the one that fought.
Yeah.
Who did he fight? He fought Jake Paul. He beat Jake Paul. So his dad was there. Did you see what happened?
No.
His dad went absolutely nuts at the presser. For some reason. Kicked over the tables, kicked over the dais, started talking to everybody, holding his crotch, doing humpy motions to the air. I mean, just a very embarrassing. I have no idea why he did it.
Were they filming the next season of the Furies on Netflix?
I don't know. But you got to check it out.
Well, they've got season 1 up now, Bruce. So that's what when you are that celebrity, and you're on one of those shows like the Kardashians, like anything like that, I just go, okay, maybe that's just for TV. I don't quite understand.
No, but the problem is TJ, that's our next superstar.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me, Bruce, is we just found our next superstar.
Oh man.
You know what's crazy to me? He's bringing up the Kardashians and Bruce Jenner. What he won the decathlon. Those fucking Kardashians killed that guy so bad that he turned into a female. I really hold them responsible for that. I'm not even joking around. I hold them responsible.
I can't comment on that. I can tell you one thing that's not giving away a secret, but a friend of mine actually worked on remodeling their house when he was living with her and all years ago, many years before he had his reconstructive surgery. And he told me that in the garage there was a closet with large dresses and like size 12 pump shoes or something like that. And this is going back many, many, many years ago. So obviously, he was battling within himself for many, many years, and more power to him. I'm all about everybody being who you are. It just was one of those things.
I like him better as a female, to be honest with you.
But they did treat him like crap on that show, though. Man,
100%, TJ, 100%. They pissed on that poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right, guys. One thing we want to talk about for a second here. Listen, the things that are happening climate-wise. Obviously, the Maui. In California, we had a hurricane here, first time in 80 years or something like that.
It wasn't a hurricane by the time it got here. It was a tropical something or other depression.
Yeah, it wasn't as hard as it was. It wasn't as bad as it was. We all prepared for it. And then in the middle of it, there's an earthquake.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know who pissed off Mother Nature in California, but somebody did. I thought I wasn't going to get home from Boston. I had a flight that connected in Denver. To Orange County. It ended up getting canceled, and I ended up going to Newark. And when all was said, I was 15 minutes late from my original departure, and it was raining slightly when I got here. I know it's different everywhere else. I guess the Inland Empire of California really got flooded. Death Valley was real bad, Palm Springs, Cathedral City, etc. But Orange County just rained a lot.
Let me. You know where that doesn't happen? In Russia. I tell you, when I was leaving Moscow, it was like a fucking monsoon. I go, what? Is it going to be delayed? Definitely not. that plane was taken off one way or the other. But I don't know.
Mother Nature is. What's that?
Did you have any trouble getting home?
No, my plane left on time. I got home on time and had a good time.
But Bruce, isn't it nerve-wracking though, not knowing if you're going to leave or if there's a delay or you hear your buddy got delayed or his flight got canceled to the next day? It's torture to me.
It's torture, but at the same time, what's more torture in our jobs that we do? I mean, the show finished at 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
By the time I get back to the hotel, it's 2 o'clock, 2:30. The traffic was ridiculous. And then I got to leave for the airport at 6 a.m. because on a situation like this, where normally I'd show up an hour and a half ahead of time to get there 2.5 hours ahead of time because we don't know what the airport's going to be like.
Here's my problem, guys. The Weather Channel are using words like catastrophic, and I understand
media.
Yeah, well, I understand they need to warn people, but I am so numb to all of these weather warnings because every single time, I come from the Midwest where we, get pretty brutal blizzards, but every single time it's like they scare you to go out there and buy a ton of groceries and, batten the hatches down. And 99% of the time, I guess, thankfully, it's not as bad as they say it is. But like, they're terrorizing people with fear. I don't get it.
You know what? All I know is Henry, my boy, he went out shopping for me, so I had stuff when I got home, and I've got a ton of Fiji water lying around the house right now. That's all I can tell you.
That's funny, man.
So listen, with the climate situations, obviously the Maui fire is it's just horrific.
Yeah.
They're still facing challenges of finding hundreds of missing people. Anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people remain unaccounted for. And even the people they found, like I remember reading a statistic that the first 106, they can only identify 5 of them because they're so badly burned.
That's crazy.
And they estimate that the wildfires caused up to $6 billion in economic losses. $6 billion, which is staggering for a state that runs off tourism.
UFC released a shirt. It's just a simple shirt. It says UFC Hearts Hawaii. 100% of the proceeds are going to the Maui relief efforts. So if you want to go check it out, UFCstore.com. But I love Hawaii. I've never been to Maui. I go to Oahu every February, and man, I mean, it's hard just to look at all the logistics that go into keeping Hawaii running smoothly. Like everything is an import, right? Like
everything's an import.
And now to basically have to rebuild, the cities over there in Maui and get people help, it's going to be a lot of cost. And I think a lot of that is just going to simply be associated with the fact that it's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it takes a lot of time, money, and effort to get those supplies out there. So anything people can do, whether it's buying a T-shirt or donating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily, TJ, we have a president that, went through a similar situation. He burnt his tongue on a cup of hot coffee, so he understands what's going on. So I think those people get the proper relief. Wait, isn't this why you guys had me on? Dude, I'm delirious. I got to go in for surgery tomorrow. I might not be myself today.
Yeah. By the way, now that you mentioned that, listen, good luck with the hip.
Yeah, thanks, man. I just wanted to go smooth, and I can't wait to even know what it's like to walk. I have no clue what that even feels like. It's been like 4 years now. It's just.
Well, now you've gone from being a hippie as a young man, to getting a hip replacement. So,
well, either way, I'm hip. Either way,
you're hip. That's for sure. One last thing on the Maui, and good luck with that, Ray. I'm going to check in with you, of course.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I'm happy to say that people I know that have had hip replacements have come back to them 110% versus the shoulder replacements, that are a lot.
Yeah.
So either way, it's surgery.
I know a guy that had hip replacement surgery and he was golfing 2 weeks later. Like, it's insane to me.
Yeah, it's insane how well it works. One other thing on the Maui situation, people were talking about how the alarms did not go off.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that came out is had the alarms gone off, people would have ran to the mountain.
Right.
That means more people would have died.
Yeah.
And that's his reasoning for not setting them off. And he's getting a lot of flack.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting about that. Another thing in the news here is that India made a moon landing. India's landed on the moon.
Wow.
That's like the last country I think that would have moon exploration.
I don't know. They got nuclear weapons, Buff.
Yeah, that's true too. And by the way, get ready. The monster fans for the Loch Ness, the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
It's going to be the biggest creature hunt in 50 years for the Loch Ness Monster is happening. Yeah. Guys, do you really think there's a Loch Ness Monster?
No, just like there's not a Bigfoot, but you turn on some of these channels in the daytime. My wife watches the dumbest crap. I watched the show about how this guy thinks he caught, Sasquatch on camera. Like, dude, it's 2023. Like, I understand there are species out there that we have never heard of, mostly like, way below the sea level and, deep ocean. But like, there isn't a massive 400-pound gorilla type creature running around, Washington State that we haven't found yet.
Yeah. And there's no aliens either. You guys might disagree with me, but it's just, there's no aliens. And
I disagree with that one.
I figured you would.
I disagree with that. I figure we're here
Right. Yeah. Why do they make a big deal out of it? Let's get together and meet them. I don't even know why it's.
Ray, there's aliens out there. I just don't know if they come visit us in spaceships.
Yeah, it's real simple. I look at it this way. If we're here, why can't they be there? Okay. It's real simple. I saw a spaceship when I was a kid. It was written up in the paper about it, seeing a UFO. I've got the article here on my desk. I was 19 years old in Malibu. So it really had a big effect on me, you know. And
I'm gonna say the reason for that, Bruce, is because they don't have electricity. That's why they can't be living there.
Well, my friends were all wondering what kind of drugs I was on at the time,
well,
and it's like, no.
You're a surf kid, so I mean, what was it, a spaceship, or could you just not identify it because you had glassy eyes?
I actually was walking out. I had I would get up at 4:30 in the morning to drive from Malibu to Santa Monica for my telemarketing company, and I was getting in my car and I felt a rumbling noise, and I looked out at the end of the canyon and I saw a ball of light coming up at the end of the canyon and then go over me. And it came out of the cloud, came a triangular shaped object with lit up on each end of the triangle and underneath. And I watched it. I followed my car, followed it down to the ocean. It turned left and just disappeared. Right. And then that night on the news, on the 6 o'clock news, somebody in Palos Verdes, which is give or take 40 miles down the coast, reported seeing a UFO literally like within a half hour after I saw it off the coast.
And was this the first or second time you did psilocybin?
Never had done psilocybin at that point.
Hey, listen, wait. Let me just say something to even what TJ just said. So yesterday on YouTube, something came across my feed. It was in the 50s, and they had a house, they had the wife, homemaker. Just, I mean, what a sweetheart, normal, right out of Leave It to Beaver. And then they put her on LSD. And the poor lady was like, do you see it? Do you see the molecules? And the doctor's going, I'm trying to see them, but I can't see them. But whatever she was seeing. And I'm not saying it's the same thing, sure, but I just think, you know what? Next time you see something, don't even say nothing. It's almost like, I don't know.
Well, here's what's interesting to me, guys. Like, we live in a time now where everyone has these HD cameras, and you don't see any real good visible sightings anymore.
Yeah, right. Even all the whistleblowers, but you don't have a camera. You can't take a picture of the spacecraft and show it to us. Like, I don't even. But Bruce, my point is, why is that a secret? Why would the government keep that a secret?
To avoid mass panic.
I mean,
you would panic on that? I wouldn't panic.
I wouldn't, but we're not the average person, or maybe we are the average person. Yeah. But I mean, if to answer your question, no, I would not. I mean, it is what it is.
Eddie Bravo,
it is what it is. Period. That's it. That's as simple as it is. It is what it is.
Eddie, the Earth is flat, and the government lies about that because there'd be mass panic and hysteria if they found out. Who knows, guys?
Who knows? You never know. But I will tell you one thing that's a reality, guys. I'm not very happy to report it. Numerous people around my sphere of influence are getting this damn COVID again. Okay. And even my business partner in England got it really, really bad. Now it is time. It's coming out now that it's time to maybe break out the masks again. We're going to see some stuff here. Hollywood studio Lionsgate that produces John Wick, The Hunger Games and all. They just reinstated the use of masks for all their employees in their offices.
Yeah. I had COVID in June. It was such a non-issue that
and I'm glad to hear that, because for you that was the case, but for other people, again, if you're compromised or elderly, you never know. My partner is younger than you in England, behind my cologne and my energy products and all that.
Yeah,
he got it in England. It knocked him down.
That's the issue. It's
I honestly, I just want to get in and out of the hospital healthy. It's COVID. Imagine COVID hits, they got to postpone everything. Or
you're probably gonna have to wear a mask in the hospital.
Yeah, I guess I got to fill out my COVID test as soon as I'm done with this.
They still make you wear a mask in any medical facility.
Yeah, that's true. I'm saying yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't do that when I went for the pre-op 3 weeks ago.
Huh. All right.
Well, let's see how it develops, guys. But I mean, the cold weather's coming. Obviously in a couple months, it's when everything spikes up again. I'd hate to see the kids in school going through all this again, but it's with us forever. We'll see where it goes. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, but I think at least this time we're kind of ahead of it, because we got so devastated the first time that they have the hospital beds to do the right thing. And I think, look, the first time it was more they just didn't have room for the people. I knew doctors, they were trying to triage whoever they thought had the best chance of living, and that was killing the doctors. They felt awful about that. You have a room of 40 people and they can only take care of 4. I mean, that sucks, man. So hopefully we're ahead of it. And ever since then, they've been researching the shit out of everything and coming up with something, I think, hopefully, so we're a little more prepared than we were the first time. And
we'll be prepared.
It helps everybody.
It's going to be around just like the flu forever. Just, my worries, obviously, my little mama and stuff like that. And then, quite frankly, I don't want to get it. I don't want any lung damage, but, it is what it is.
100%. Now I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what the problem is, Bruce, too? We try to do the right thing. So, like, if we get something, I'm actually pissed. Like, I'm like, man, I'm doing everything right.
Right.
And I'm still there. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people I know that are getting it when they come back from trips, which could be from the airport, it could be from the plane, it could be from anything like that. That's where a number of people I'm associated with have received it. And Dana White had a lot of fun posting a picture of me with a mask on a plane a couple months ago. But honestly, I'll do what I do. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me. I want to be careful. I got all this travel coming up. The only 2 shows I ever missed was because I got this damn thing, and I don't want to go through that again.
I think it comes down to the fact that people aren't washing their hands and things don't get cleaned up, properly. It's like any other sort of virus, and
it's going to be spread around all over the place.
Yeah, but airplanes too, like they're turning around airplanes so quick. I don't think that they're getting properly, cleaned up the way they need to. And you talk about all that recycled air, and I don't know.
Well, case in point, that's why I'm careful. I know I got to take it off to eat or drink, but I hate even eating on airplanes anymore. The food sucks.
Is it an N95 mask?
I buy these ones that are like multi-tiered, a little more comfortable than an N95.
They say that the N95 is the only one that doesn't.
It's really is. I carry those with me too. It's the only one that'll work properly, as they say. Hey, congratulations to Serena Williams and Alex Hanian. They're welcoming their second child. God knows if that's going to be a champion in the future in tennis or whatever, but congratulations to her. And the New York Red Bull tickets, for soccer.
Yeah, is Messi going to town?
Well, yeah, they got Messi playing now. The tickets were $46.
Yeah.
But now that Messi's playing, they're costing as much as $3,600 for the first row and as low as $345.
Yeah, so Messi plays for Inter Miami, and everywhere that Miami's going, the road tickets are just going through the roof. They're selling out like crazy in Miami. Amazing. It's crazy. I love soccer. I fell in love with it during the pandemic. It's cool to see one of the best in the world.
Great sport.
Finish his career here, but it is interesting to me though that we have all these people, shelling out this kind of cash when at the end of the day, it's still soccer. And not a lot of people I feel like it's that Vegas effect. When the UFC is in town and people go out to Vegas and, a lot of them want to get those UFC tickets, but they're not showing up until like the third fight of the main card. You get a lot of people trying to buy these tickets to prove their status or be.
Well, give credit to Boston, man. By the third fight or by the first fight, that stadium was filling up.
Yeah.
No, they're fight fans for sure.
Yeah. And what's interesting to see these towns that haven't had a UFC since the pandemic, and when the UFC rolls through town, I think you see a lot of people come out and just. I know we're a couple years removed from it, but there's still this level of celebration and excitement that I think that you see the first time the Octagon comes back.
No question. And I want to give thanks to our sponsor, medicaleverything.com. Everybody check out medicaleverything.com for health news and really good stuff to follow and associate yourself with. And by the way, Ray, did you run out to see Barbie?
No, I did not.
Oh, come on, Ray.
My kids didn't. Wait, hold on. Let me just run. Don't, TJ, hold this floor for a second. Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right. Ray's going to come back.
God, I mentioned Barbie, and Ray's got to take
up on Barbie.
Oh, thank goodness Ray was wearing shorts there. I didn't know.
Yeah, Ray, I was worried about that, man.
What happened there? Wow. Yeah.
Are you you're not doing any coverage of Singapore, right?
I mean, not particularly. I'm calling Callum Walsh's fight on Saturday, which is after the UFC. So not really able to do any sort of post event or anything like that for extra rounds. But
oh, by the way, Tom was really cool. He texted me last night asking for a Puncher's Chance logo. They want to put it on the ring.
I heard that. He told me that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm
working on getting the fights.
I'm not sure yet.
Come on.
I may have to go down south. I'm going to do my best, but I'm not sure yet. I may have to go down south.
I mean, Commerce Casino can kind of be on the way to down south.
You're talking about a nighttime affair.
I know, Buffer. I'm just trying to find a way to get you there. I'd love to have you there.
He said Halle Berry is going to be there, some other people. So it should be it's a nice intimate setting, 1,400 people.
Yeah, I love that room. Commerce Casino is a phenomenal fight venue. And Tom always brings it, man. The thing about Tom Loeffler's approach to boxing, and I think why it's on UFC Fight Pass, is it's evenly matched fights. And this is a sport where if you look at developing up and comers, it feels like 9 out of 10 times you got a guy who's 5-0 taking on a guy who's 5-12 or 1-11, and That's not the case. You know, obviously Tom has a strategy and how he wants to build his guys, but he does so against you know, comparable opponents with good records and challenges, to say the least. And more often than not, his guys are standing up to those challenges, and we'll see what happens coming up on Saturday.
Very cool.
Sorry about that, guys. Go
right.
back to Barbie. I'm sorry. I left Barbie. No, my kids saw Barbie. I didn't see a movie.
When I mentioned Barbie, you had to take a leak.
I tell you.
When nature calls, Buff. You know?
Come on, Bruce. We're getting old, buddy. I'll never forget the time. It was one fight, and it had to be like 8 years ago. I mean, I must have drank a lot or whatever, but every time I would be going to the bathroom, Stitch would be coming out. I mean, we did this like 6 times in a row. I go, man, we're giving away our age, man. This is horrible.
Hey, I'm lucky to be able to break away once or twice a night for 3 minutes. So
yeah, I don't know. How the hell do you do that, man?
Well, got control. What can I say?
Yeah, that's good. I have absolutely no control, so I'm happy for you.
One thing I do is stay hydrated at the fights. You know, that's definitely. Anyway, Barbie's the highest grossing film for 2023.
Wow.
So it's crossed the 1.2 billion mark globally.
And what does that mean?
In gross tickets.
No. I know that, but what does it mean to you? Like, what does it indicate?
Indicates the audience, you know, and obviously huge female audience, the fans, and it indicates the strength of the Barbie brand.
Yes.
I don't think it was so
100%.
much. Yeah, it's just Barbie. I mean, even my partner Kristen, you know, she has tons of Barbies. One of the original ones too. She found out that gone up like 40% or 30, 20, 40% since the movie came out. The collectibles have been going through the roof.
Crazy.
Barbie collectibles. So it's a big brand. I mean, sure, you got Ryan Gosling and you know, she's amazing. Playing help me out, guys. What's her name again? I'm brain farting for a second.
I'm the wrong guy to ask, Buff.
No, that one I know nothing about.
No.
Anyway, that's so unfair of me. I gotta do this right. She's such a good actress.
I'm not gonna see it.
Well, you have a son, Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. She played Tanya Harding in the movie. You know, she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
But it's the brand. It's the brand that makes it work. So good for them. Listen, I just love to see the fact that a movie being released in theaters is selling a ton of tickets. And you know, the trick of, you know how you figure when a movie is going to be in profit, Ray?
No.
Let's say the movie cost $50 million to make, right? In this case, it was a lot. It's got to gross ticket sales 2.5 times that to break even. So a $50 million movie has got to do at least $125 or more million in ticket sales to break even. Because the studio only gets a portion of that. That's the basic formula to figure it out. So at $1 billion, this film has made nothing but tons of money. So good for them.
It's crazy to me that Barbie has outsold an Indiana Jones film. You know,
the demographic is younger for the Barbie as well as older. It's a very wide demographic.
Right.
The Indiana Jones demographic is a 40 plus, and that might even be younger than the actual demographic of Indiana Jones for the people that remember when Spielberg released the first Indiana Jones, which obviously we do because of our age demographic.
What if they put a G.I. Joe film out?
I can't answer that. I don't know. They've done it. I forget how well
I think they have done it, right? Yeah.
No, they've done G.I. Joe.
Or animated. That's, you know, I think that has something to do with it too.
Listen, the movie industry is a great industry. It's obviously something very important to me all growing up. So I'm just happy to see that it's doing well.
We need another MMA movie.
I'll tell you, aside from Here Comes the Boom and Warrior.
Yeah, those are the two best ones.
To me, the best two sports that transfer into film.
Yep.
And again, this could be with MMA for our love of MMA is baseball and boxing. I think they've always transferred the best as sports into the different films that I've seen. Yeah. That can be up for conjecture. That can be up for argument. That can be up for
yeah.
Like, I love the Rocky movies, all of them.
Yeah.
How can you not? Even if I'm channel surfing, it'd be the middle of a Rocky movie, 1 through 10 or whatever the hell it is, and I'm always going to watch it.
I haven't seen the new Creed film yet. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, it was excellent.
Okay, I'll have to get on that.
It was a good first-time directorial debut. By him, you know, who stars as Creed.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
Or Michael B. Jordan stars as you know, as the Rocky main character, and he did an excellent job directing his first film. It was very, very good.
Yeah, I'll have to get on that.
All right, guys, let's sign off. Starting with you, Ray. What's up?
That's it, man. Just regrouping from the weekend. Want to get everybody back on track. I got some other big fights coming up. I got a kid. Let me just mention one thing too. A shout out to Pompos Gregorio. I was in Vegas the Tuesday before Aljo's fight. We had a kid on the Contender Series, knocked this guy out in a minute. So we have 7 guys in the UFC in a tiny gym, which is pretty cool to me. Very, very proud of that. And then I was hoping he got us off to a good start, and we stumbled a little bit over the weekend, but right now it's about regrouping, and we got Dylan Montello fighting on the Contender Series September 19th. We have Anthony Delemy, Aljo's 2 brothers fighting on CFFC September 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, around there. And then Armando Gaethje fighting in the Ring of Combat, defending his title. And another kid, Alex Brown, out of the gym. So locally, still crazy. Big shows. I think we're going to have a couple of people on the Madison Square Garden card. I'm looking forward to be able to walk around without a fucking cane, and it'll be a great night.
That'd be awesome in your hometown too. That's very cool. Very cool, right? Very, very cool. TJ?
What do we got? I already pretty much let the cat out of the bag. We're talking about it. King Callum Walsh is boxing Saturday at Commerce Casino, puts his undefeated record on the line as he continues his ascent up the ranks in boxing. You can watch it live on UFC Fight Pass. Check your local listings because I have no idea what time it starts, but I'll be on the call.
Very cool. And I got to go into one news story here. It just came over the wire. I'm getting sick of this smash and grab thievery that's going on. I mean, obviously, how can you not? Get this, guys. Thieves pillage Beverly Hills wig shop that serves women and children who are battling cancer. They go in and steal a bunch of wigs. I mean, it's...
What's the resale value for that? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
TJ, the resale value is more than you think.
Really? I mean,
some of those wigs are $3-4 grand, 2,000. I don't know
how you sit with yourself, knowing that they were going to go to,
Well,
they don't sit with themselves anyway. They're all friggin' assholes to begin with. So how can they have any sympathy for anything when they expect us to have sympathy?
But the point is, why do we make it easy for them, knowing that, like in a perfect world, okay, those guys got to just be punished severely. There's no other way to do it. They're not nice people. They're never going to learn.
I know, but you can't be punished severely when they raised what was $450 and less was a misdemeanor is now $950 or less.
Whoever raised it, Bruce, should be punished severely.
The same person that raised it was involved in why San Francisco is a friggin' war zone now and not even a proper city to visit.
But the point is, Bruce, they're going to vote him back in, though. How do you explain that?
I don't know. A lot of people say you got to vote Republican to battle this. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I vote for the best person that I think is right for
without a doubt. But I mean, it's time now that, you got this is just dude, when you're a bad person and somebody's like, yeah, I really want to help you, I'm going to do this. They don't give a shit, man. They're just looking at you like you're an idiot. Oh, wow. I get out. No bail. I could do this and get out the next day. Well, you think they're saying thank you? That's really fair. It just doesn't work like that. You just use it to even knuckleheads, in general. Just it's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And I don't want to be like I'm with you. I don't care who it is. I just want, I just want to be able to make money. I want to have a safe country, and that's about it, man. Just leave me the fuck alone. I definitely don't want to pay. I'm paying. It's like still $4 a gallon in gas. I don't know why people ain't bitching about that.
$5.46. I feel
$5.46. I mean, I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough all the way around, Ray. I mean, we're not living in a society that we can sit here peacefully and say, hey, I'm happy with everything. Because you know what? We're not.
Yeah. But it's still the best place to be, though.
Yes, of course. We live in a great country, but
that's why we complain about it, because we want to make it even better. We got to get it back to.
Let's just hope it does get better and we don't get to the point of no return. That's what I hope for.
I feel.
But anyway, let's end on a positive note. One positive note I can have is that It's Time Cologne is still the top selling cologne on Amazon.
No matter if the world goes to shit, you can still smell good with It's Time Cologne.
It's all right. You can still smell good no matter what happens. And UFCstore.com. It's on the UFC store and selling like crazy. So UFCstore.com.
Those cancer patients might not get their wigs, but they could smell nice. Give them the cologne, Bruce.
Hey, I'm working on 2 new scents that are going to come out in the next 6 months. So it's all good.
You're the best. I know I say it all the time. I got to hook up with you, man, because I would take $10 a month in passive income. I'd be happy. I tell you.
Millions.co, Ray. I keep telling you.
Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it.
I got your first shirt. Put your hand through his F and chess.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's
Yeah,
right there for you.
I got
Millions.co. Everybody, by the
way,
way, we're on the subject. Check out millions.co. There's so many UFC fighters on there selling merch, from Kevin Holland to the Shevchenko sisters to you name it. There are tons of really cool stuff. All right, everybody. Ray, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on the
no,
show.
I love it, Bruce. I do. You know, I do anything for both of you guys. I really feel like we've become really good friends, and it's enriched my life to the better.
Absolutely. Love you too. And I know you would do more for me than TJ, but that's okay. It's all totally understandable.
I disagree, Buff. There's less to do for you. There's a lot more to do for me. Any help I can get. So,
all right. Listen, Ray, have a great week. And listen, sending you positive energy and all the best for healing. Get that hip replaced and get back to yourself. I want to see roundhouse kicks in the next 6 months.
100%. Nobody wants to see it more than me, but thank you very much, Bruce.
You got it, Ray. Next time back east, we got to do the Italiano.
Let's do it, man. As close as we get. Yeah.
I went to a great Italian restaurant in Boston called Massimino's. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, but Boston still got really a heavy Italian influence in
heavy
there.
Italian influence. No, it was very good. All right, TJ, have a great week. All good. We'll be back next week with a special guest. Everybody set your goals, write them down. So when you step on that yellow brick path, you'll be the best you can be. By doing that, whether you're champion, first, second, or 10th, you're winning because you're being the best you can be. And that's what we're all about on It's Time Radio. I almost said UFC radio. It's Time Radio. Keep winning, folks. Name of the game. Be happy. Treat everybody around you with respect. Have a wonderful life. And let's just enjoy this life to the fullest. Big cheers.
100%.
Buffer out.
100%. Great job, buddy. I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
TJ,
Bye,
take it easy, buddy.
Thanks, Ray.
Bye, guys.